I do want to pick up on this idea of trust, and this also the concept of providing tools. For those of guys who you are familiar with the Gallup 12 in terms of engagement, so it's several years of this, and one of the elements of it is my manager or someone at work cares about me as a person, which is one of the most significant drivers of trust within an organization. So when I ask people and have conversations about tell me about what's going on in your life. Sometimes I have these circles around kind of the personal, professional, kind of just openness about what's happening. And almost always people, no matter what group having this conversation, in Patagonia or not, they usually start with their children if they have children. Like the most important thing in their lives are their children and what is happening, and they usually talk about that. And if they're not talking about their children, they're talking about dealing with an aging parent or something along those. Those are the two things that 90% of the time come on. So as a tool, and so few companies do this that it's not even a question on the Gallup 12. But if it's engaging and trustworthy, if I can prove that I care about you as a person, if I can prove that I care about your children as people, the level of engagement and the level of trust is extraordinary and intense. So if you think about the things that you do, and that is one of the magic things about Patagonia is that we show how we care about the children. So when you walk up the front door, the very first thing you see is the reception, but you see the playground. And they're just children laughing and screaming in the playground. If a woman is breastfeeding and there's a meeting, you have two choices. Someone will bring the baby in and they will continue breastfeeding while you're having the meeting, or you just generally accepted, like, it's time for the kid to eat, I'm going to leave. So this idea of, you think about your organization, like how can you show your working parents in very real and concrete ways that you care about their children as people, and you will get the deepest level of trust and engagement that is so off the charts that Google hasn't even seen it yet. And I just want to, this idea of trust is really, really founded in, and this was something Patty, touched on, is it's founded on experiences. No one cares about what you say. They care about what you do and the experiences that you deliver. And so if you deliver this experience to your employees and you're around, this is how we show we care for children, or your children and your future generation, then those experiences drive beliefs. And the beliefs drive behavior. And those behaviors are wrapped around trust and culture and citizenship. So when I talk to leaders about citizenship and trust and culture, I first say, let's not talk about the behaviors you want to change. It's usually CEOs talk about those behaviors they want to change to get trust. And I'm like, no, let's talk about the experiences you are driving. So what experiences did people have yesterday around your culture? What experiences did they have with you and the decisions you made on a regular basis around citizenship? And that's the place to start. Experiences drive belief, which drive behavior, which drive culture.
Right, because the disconnect that happens immediately where we have our stated values at the Obama Foundation, they're a piece of paper. You have yours, all of you have your values. There is not an employee for your organization who, on a given day, when something happens in terms of an experience, they don't say, that word on that piece of paper is either meaningless based upon what I just saw, or, boy, they're really walking the walk and talking the talk. The latter phrase anything that you do, and there's not a sufficient number of happy hours or staff retreats that you can do that will make up for the erosion that occurs in terms of the behavior and how it corresponds with what is on that piece of paper, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key.
And often we're talking about childcare, I get this question like, so that's awesome. What's the ROI on childcare? And I'm like, this is a great conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's share. We'll share some of your ROI and some of the things you're doing. I'll share ROI on childcare. And so my next question is like, so what's the ROI on your parking lot? I'm like, what? I'm like, so you have a parking lot? Yeah, what's the ROI on it? When you were deciding to build a parking lot, what was your ROI analysis on that? Like, well, we didn't do one. People have to bring their cars. I'm like, exactly. So in values, it's more important to bring your cars than your children. where we don't do an ROI on the parking lot, but we want an ROI on women bringing their kids to work and providing gender equity and pay and opportunity. So clearly in this company, cars are more important than equity. That's an experience.